Okay, there's this massive thing going on in TikTok right now between leftists like me, who are anti-Gavin Newsom running in 2028, and anti-Gavin Newsom slop and all of that, and we recognize who Gavin Newsom is as basically, yeah, he's quote unquote in the center, but in reality, if you look at his policies, he's pretty far right, especially in the fact that he agrees with people like Charlie Kirk and others when he had them on his podcast, and also the fact that he's clearly a TERF. He is clearly a massive, massive TERF, as he agrees that it's unfair for trans people to, fairly and equitably and with equal rights compete in sports. But let's just ignore all of that. Also, let's just put aside how he treats homeless people and the mentally ill and all of that. Let's ignore the fact that in terms of if you sat him down and went through line by line his policies, he agrees with Trump on more things than you would be comfortable with. But let's just put all that aside and just get right down to the nitty-gritty, because leftists like me are being yelled at by his supporters for, harming the party and harming party unity and all that stuff. So let's be a devil's advocate real quick. Let's actually be a devil's advocate real quick, because I sincerely want to ask his supporters these questions. So if you're a Gavin Newsom supporter, please comment. Please even video response to me, because I sincerely want to know what the plans are. If he wins in 2028, if your dream becomes a reality and he gets the keys to the White House in 2028, what is the plan to push him left? And further, if you have a plan to push him left, if you have a plan to push him and advocate for pro-working class policies, pro-trans policies, pro-LGBTQIA plus policies, pro-homeless policies, etc., if you have a plan to get him to change his entire policy and his entire personality around, then I just have a simple question. Why didn't you do that with Biden? Why didn't you push Biden to the left? Why did you sit on your hands and knees and do nothing for the 4 years Biden was in office? Why did you sit on your hands and knees and do nothing when Obama was in office for 8 years? Why did you do nothing when Clinton was in office? Etc., etc. Why is the pattern that every single time a Democrat gets the White House and gets control of Congress, that you guys on the liberal side of things sit on your hands and knees, go back to brunch, and do absolutely nothing? Absolutely nothing. Because you want to yell at us. You feel that you have the high ground to yell at leftists, to preach at us, to talk to us about voting blue no matter who, and all of that. You feel that you have the moral and ethical high horse here. So I must ask, how is it that you feel that you deserve to have the moral and ethical high horse here? Why do you feel that you are above us leftists? Because the historical pattern is that you guys do nothing when you're in power. When you're in power, when the politicians you support and the groups you support are in power, you do absolutely nothing with that power. Because I must simply ask, if you are truly afraid, if you are truly shaking in your boots, if you truly stay up at night afraid about what the Trump regime is going to do next, I must ask, what are you going to do to make sure that we don't ever get another Trump-style regime from the Republicans?